It is. Okay, well, welcome everybody. For those of you that were here last time, thanks for coming back. I guess I did okay the last time, which is why you're back. So thanks for coming back. Uh, Last time we focused on Magic School, and that was a good one to start because that's probably the most popular AI teacher tool out there. Brisk is, I don't know if I would say they're number two, but they're definitely in the top five. Um, we're going to go over kind of the differences. So Brisk and Magic School have a lot of overlap. Brisk works slightly differently than Magic. Would argue that
Right.
Brisk is more convenient. Some would argue that Magic School. So it's all in what you prefer. So the reason that I wanted to focus a lot on Brisk today is because a lot of the schools in this region are Google schools. And Brisk is really, really good at working with Google programs. Okay, so we're going to see today how Brisk kind of literally just integrates and just goes with everything you're already doing within Google Docs, Google Slide presentations, anything. Okay, so this is what we're going to talk about, and we're going to go through some of these pretty quickly today, because I want you guys to have as much time as possible to use stuff, just like we did last time. As I'm talking, hopefully you have already prepared and like signed up for a Brisk account. I think they also have once you sign up, there's a free pro level period, so you'll be able to see what that's all about. I have the free version. A bunch of people reached out to me and they're like, "How are you and only have the free version?" And I said because I keep forgetting to ask people for stuff. So I'm just using the free version and it is totally like it does so much. Like I still am shocked at how much the free version allows you to do. So we're going to go through all of that. And so hopefully you've already put it in. And you'll notice that Brisk it's a really cute little icon that just kind of sits down in the corner of your browser. And literally everything that you go into, Brisk, this was really cool when I found this out. If you're on a YouTube, the little Brisk logo will change red because it recognizes that you're on YouTube and it's working with a YouTube video. If you're in Google Slides, it will, because it recognizes that you're in a Google Slides. It will turn green if you're in a Google Sheets. So it recognizes where it is and where it's open. So it knows what to do. So if you're on a website, it changes a different color and so on and so forth. So the first things first, there's a video, but we don't have to watch that. It's very much an advertisement video. So it's just like our product's the best and save a million hours of teaching and things like that. Their goal, their claim, kind of very similar to Magic School, is we can save you time. I don't want to skip you. Anyway, they can save you time is pretty much what that video is telling you. So when you have Brisk, it is a Chrome extension. So it is not like Magic School where it has its own separate site with all the tools. The tools are literally built into the extension. So once you put the extension in your browser or your Google Chrome or whatever browser you're using, once you activate it, it'll put that little icon, which is right down here. That little icon will be floating in the bottom corner. Now, if you installed Magic School's Google Chrome extension, you will realize how annoying that extension is because it and Brisk are like right on top of each other. So it makes it very annoying if you're trying to use one over the other because they're literally right next to each other. Um, so Brisk will hover down there. When you click on that Brisk icon, this menu pops up. Okay. Now, as I said, Brisk recognizes where you are online. Okay. So if you are looking at a PDF or you're on a website, you have an article pulled up from a website, it will recognize that this is an article, that you're on a website, and whatever resources or whatever you want to do, it will create from the place that you are. Okay. So if you're at a YouTube video, when you hit create a resource or anything, a lesson plan, whatever you want to do, it will create it based on the YouTube video that you are watching or that you are on at that point. What makes this really well is once you start creating something, it opens up a separate Google Doc and just starts going. It just starts writing. It's actually really fun and really cool to watch. So we will definitely get to see that today. But when you click on the extension down in the corner, this is what pops up. This is what it looks like. So the create is probably going to be the most favored button of teachers. Once you click on that create button, there is a whole new jungle to get in. But I'll go over all these buttons first before we click on them. So the other one is give feedback. This is a really good feedback tool. Even with the free version, you are able to get really good glow and grow feedback. And what you can do, it'll generate based on, again, it knows it's in a Google Doc, so it'll read the Google Doc and give feedback based on how you want it to respond. Okay. You can then take those comments and literally just copy and paste them into the comments or into the document itself. Okay. Obviously, once you read them and check them. All right. We're getting pretty close to the point where we can trust everything that AI says, but we're not quite fully there yet. So we still got to do a quick double check. But believe me when I tell you, it is a quick double check because you will see that the feedback is really good and very targeted. So that is a good one. Inspect writing is one that teachers, especially writing teachers, love to use. Inspect writing is really cool because what it does is it plays for you how the student wrote their paper. So it'll play very quickly all the typing and all the steps that the student took to write that paper. So for example, it will point out where large amounts of text were pasted into the document. So you'll be able to see along the way, did a student like you'll see it. You could play the student typing their paper as they go along from beginning to end. And you will be able to see when they pasted in large pieces of text. And that is usually a giveaway for they have either copied and pasted something from the internet or they have opened up, let's say, Grammarly and had Grammarly write something and then they just pasted it in. So it's very easy to see that they have just clearly copied and pasted. If they were smart, which some of them are getting there, they would look at what their AI did and just type it out. If they're smart. Some of them are there. Some of them may not be there. But that's what the Inspect Writing tool does. So the Inspect Writing tool is one of the better ways to determine if your kids are plagiarizing. Not necessarily determining whether or not they're using AI, just determining whether or not they are copying and pasting large chunks of text. This idea of looking at student writing that way is much, much better and much more efficient than using any AI detector tool. And as I think Tracy and Brenda will agree with me, hopefully, AI detector tools, teachers, if you are using them, I am so sorry to tell you, they are not worth it. No matter what the app or what the company says, they are wrong too often. Okay. They are wrong too often for us to accuse a kid of cheating. You're going to, so like, it'll ruin the relationship with the kid. That's one. And it ruins the kid's trust in the system, period. I have actually heard personal anecdotal stories of people who have failed college classes because their professor told them that their paper was fully written with AI. Their personal narrative paper was fully written with AI because their app, I think it was Turnitin, said 40, 50, whatever percent chance that this was written with AI. And they said, you have to redo this. And the student asked the professor, well, how do I do this so that it doesn't show up on there? And the professor said, figure that out. That's your job.
Matt, can I ask you
And
a
so
question about that?
that's where we are. Yeah. Yeah.
So I am curious when you talk about that kind of thing, because sometimes we have a thought in our head that, I'll type out a paragraph and be like, AI, can you just make this better? So
Yeah.
what does that count as? If they were to take that, if they were to copy and paste that into their document and the inspect writing hits it, would it look as though AI wrote it? And how can you make it not that way?
You mean for this tool, for this inspect writing tool?
Yes.
So this literally just shows you if something was a large text was copied and pasted.
Okay.
So
So
you
if
you have no way of knowing whether it was AI generated, whether they copied and pasted it from another doc, whether they
okay,
copied and pasted it from the internet. You just see that in this moment of writing that kid's paper that they weren't writing, they copied and pasted a giant chunk. Now, you would also be able to see if they copied and pasted that giant chunk and then went back and started editing that giant chunk, which would be a better course of action and a better thing for the student to do. So, hey, I like the way that AI worded this. I'm going to put it in there, but I'm going to make it my own while it's in there.
perfect.
That's a much better way. And again, that's a great like conversation entry level conversation there for you and your student. Say, hey, I saw you did this. Like, what was your, what was your reasoning there? What are you looking to do? What are you looking to improve? Things like that. So it opens up so many doors. And again, like I said, it's not like necessarily a I want to catch you tool. It's just you can see where the kids are and how they're doing what they're doing. Now on the flip side, if you have a kid who you just see copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, you're going to be like and then no edits after that. I mean, you're that's going to be a little, again, you have to have that conversation with the kid. So that's what the inspect writing tool does. I'm a much more of a fan of that than any of the AI detector tools, because I, along with everybody else in the AI and education space, know full well they do not work. But they do a really good job at selling their product. So there's that. That's why they are so popular. And another part of the problem that we are hesitant to talk about, they are an easy fix. And so right now they are an easy fix for teachers who don't know a lot about AI. If someone comes and says, hey, you worried about your kids writing with AI? Our detector will catch it all. Like, that sounds great to a teacher who doesn't know a lot about AI and is like, I'm really worried about my kids using AI. Yeah, that sounds great. Let's do it. But then you come to find out later that they're wrong 30 to 40% of the time. And you're like, wait a minute. I just accused a bunch of whole kids, and some of them it might have been right, some of them it might have been wrong. So sorry, went off on a little tangent there, but related to the inspect writing tool. So that's the inspect writing tool. For reading teachers out there, the change level tool, which is the next one down there, is a really popular tool. It will read whatever you're on. So this is great if you have a really nice article that covers something perfectly that you're teaching, but you know full well that this is way above your student's grade level. And there it is just way too hard for your students to reach. You can click on change level and it will rewrite that article. I actually believe, I think, I haven't used this very often, but I believe it will actually like even put the picture in there. And like if there's a picture with the headings and stuff, it'll like rewrite it almost exactly the same as it's written on the website or written in the article.
It
Uh,
does. I tried it.
yeah, so there you go. That's what I thought it did.
Mhm.
So, but that is a very popular tool as well because there are very good resources out there, but they are just not on the level of our students. This rewords, it takes out some of the bigger vocabulary, and AI has done a pretty good job since the beginning of recognizing levels of vocabulary. So it can pretty easily delineate between levels of vocabulary. And a good thing for you to do just to experiment with it is take it and have it change the level to multiple grade levels. And it'll do it all. And like you can just keep doing it in one document or open it in different documents. And you can just see the difference between the grade levels. It's very subtle, but like I said, it does a pretty good job at that. The last bubble there, I'm not going to talk too much about, but that is their newest feature. That is Boost. So Brisk Boost is a student-facing version of Brisk. What it allows you as a teacher to do is I tested it out the other day just to see, within a document, website, YouTube video, whatever, you can create a Boost activity based on whatever the resource is, and your students will have access to, it could either be a tutor chatbot, a quiz chatbot, a I forget what all the other ones are. There's a couple different ones, but it will create an activity where your students will go in, they can watch the video or read the resource, but while they're doing that, they are having a conversation with a chatbot. Okay. And it will talk to them and have conversations about whatever topic it is. So if it's a tutor one, it'll help them learn, it'll ask them questions, and it'll quiz them and all that sort of stuff. But it does that without you there. And then what you get on the back end is a nice little report and said, hey, Johnny was a little confused about this point. You may want to cover that more with Johnny. Teresa, she really understood this part. She did a great job at this, needs a little bit of work on this. So that is something that Brisk Boost can do. It is relatively new, and it is available with the free version. So if, again, this is a big if, okay? This is the same with Magic School and Magic Student. If your school and administration and district is willing to let you try these things, this is where it's going. Right now, there's only technically three tools that offer these student-facing kind of chatbot integrations, but all of them want it because it is it's a big selling point for teachers when if I know a kid's struggling on a certain topic, but I need to do XYZ over here, but I got like 3 or 4 kids that are struggling over here, a perfect independent center would be go have a conversation, build your understanding a little better, and let's see where you're at after that conversation. And so these chatbots are trained from Brisk, from Magic School, from School AI. So they are trained to respond to students at their grade level and relate it to things that they're interested in. So like, if you are able to go down that road, please travel it, experiment with it, and see it. It may be great or you may hate it. Okay. And that you will only know that if you try. But that is what Boost is. So a Boost student activity, when you open that up, you'll see all the options, and we'll go through all these. I'll click on all of them and I'll demonstrate all of them. But I'm just giving you a basic rundown of what they all do. So those are the big main things there. And then always down at the bottom, you'll have, once you start using it, it recognizes what are the ones you keep clicking on. So for me, I keep clicking on the something else button. I click on the resource button, and the last one is usually like a rubric button or something like that. So it changes. That last one changes, but I usually click the something else button the most. So as we can see here, anything that you are in, Brisk can be a part of it, even within the student assignments. So if your students turn in their assignments through Google Docs, you can open up Brisk within their turned in document, and that's how you can use the feedback right there within the document they turned into you. Okay, so you can use it right along. And what's nice about this tool is you can give that feedback, and it's still this is kind of terrible today, but it still kind of looks like it's coming from you. The students can kind of guess and glean that it's coming from you because it's in the comments section. Whereas if you do a program that we're going to talk about in January, Class Companion, it is very clear that that feedback is not coming from you. That is AI generated feedback. It's coming from somewhere else. Brisk, you can kind of say like, oh yeah, this is me, if you needed to do that sort of thing. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Anyway, not that I have to do that sort of thing or anything like that. So everything's there in that little button. Okay. So if you have the button pulled up, you can go ahead and like click on it, open it up, see what you want to do. Now, some of these things are not available. So for example, the standards and stuff, you have like 2 standards available to you if you're not on a paid or pro plan or district plan or whatever. When you have those levels, like a district level, you can integrate so many things to have this tool help you with. You can integrate with the standards, you can integrate with your specific curriculum. You can do all of these. MTSS is an option in there as well that goes along with your school's plan. And so all of that stuff comes in when you do that level. But for the free version, for us individual teachers, the free version covers pretty much everything we would need. Okay. So here's an example of what the immediate feedback looks like. So you can highlight different sections and it will give you this feedback as it's going. So that's what it does. It'll go through and it'll highlight and it'll give feedback. Now, again, for the paid version, this is for the paid version, you can give targeted feedback. You can put in what you want to go after. So if you're doing something along the lines of, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was Collins writing where you picked like one or two things per, I can't remember the program, but you picked like one or two things you wanted to focus on for that specific writing. That's what you could use the targeted feedback for. But again, that's a pro level feature. With the free one, you get the glow and grow, which again to me is pretty darn good. It's pretty darn good. So all and the next. Oh, and also I forgot about this one. This is the one I used the most over the summer. Tracy, was the next steps feedback. The next steps feedback is really good if you are building something with the kids. So they could type their paper and the AI will say, you did a good job at doing this. This is what you should do next. You should include more details about this. You should go on about this. And you'll see that it's pretty good feedback from what I have gleaned. So that's what the feedback tool looks like. So this is what the Inspect Student Writing tool looks like. It goes through really fast. At the bottom, you can see the kind of big paste here. And then you could literally have a conversation. You could post a comment in their document that'll be like, hey, just saw you posted this big thing here. What's that all about? Or you could just, have a conversation about it. That's the only thing it does. It literally will play it that fast and you'll be able to see your kid's paper typed from beginning to end.
Matt, we have a conversation going on here in the
Oh,
chat
sorry.
about the inspect writing.
Yes.
Do you happen to know offhand if you're able to do it within Canvas or one of the other LMSs?
Ooh, I do not think that Canvas is one that it integrates into.
It
So I don't know if,
it says it integrates, but it doesn't specify about the inspect writing.
okay,
Yeah, it doesn't allow you to unless it's a direct link, like a Google Doc that's been linked in. If it's through the text entry or through any other tool like the annotation tool or
that's
they
what I
upload
thought.
a PDF, it won't work. It has to be a Google Doc.
Yeah, that's what I
Okay,
thought because
awesome.
I know that their big thing is we can work within the Google ecosystem, but as far as those other, so when you're in Canvas, you're in Canvas. And you'll find there are some websites and things where it won't pop up and it'll say that it can't be used on this website. So that does happen, but it's very rare. And it's usually ones like Canvas that you have to like log into and, things like that, where there might be sensitive information, we'll put it that way.
It'll let you give feedback. The tool does pop up when you go to the actual document for like a text entry, but you have to highlight what you want to give feedback to. It
There you
doesn't
go.
automatically provide it. So you can't inspect, but you can give feedback. Kind of a workaround.
Awesome.
There
Thank
you
you,
go. Yeah.
Aaron.
Yeah. I have never messed around with it inside of Canvas because I just use it from the Google end. So there you go. Perfect. Now we know. All right. So this is another one, translate and level. So this was a big feature that was for a lot of schools that have a lot of ELL students. You can translate things really quickly now. AI, that is something that is a big help. I have a lot of teacher friends in Texas that the translation that they do now makes it almost seamless in their teaching. And it's something they've never seen before. Kids are able to do a lot better work when they can communicate in their own first language. And so that's what my teacher friend in Texas was having the kids do is they turn in their work in their native language and he can have it translated immediately and read their work and give it feedback. And then when he gives his feedback, he can translate it right back so they understand exactly what it says. I mean, it's pretty crazy that is the level that we're at right now with AI, but that is what we can do. We can do that from within Brisk as well. And these are the Boost student activities. As you can see there, this is what the tutor bot looks like. So your article and stuff will pop up over here. Students will have their own chat window opened up and they can go through and have a conversation. They can ask questions. The AI, as you can see, the AI is going to keep asking questions. And that's kind of its sole purpose is to keep asking questions and the student thinking forward. All righty. So if you haven't already, go ahead and log in, get on there. Okay. And so what I will do now is let me get out of this screen, exit. And so I had this pulled up already. So this was a Crash Course Kids YouTube video. And I don't even have to play it, but I do need to move this window out of the way here. There we go. Okay. So as you can see, I have my Brisk and Magic School. They're kind of liking each other down in the corner. I don't typically use the Magic School extension because most of the time the main tools I want to use are not available with the extension. For example, the YouTube video summarizer or question generator is not available here. So it's kind of useless for me, but it stays there in perpetuity just in case. Brisk, however, so it is outlined in red. It knows that it is on a website. So if I go back to my slideshow, notice how the Brisk changes to yellow. Now it recognizes that it's in a Google Slides presentation. So it recognizes where it is.
Hey,
So
Matt,
from here, yeah, go ahead.
are there any concerns about the terms of service when you add Brisk to your Google extension library? They made me a little bit nervous, I admit.
Okay. Well, what do you mean? What made you nervous?
It has access to like all your
yeah.
data. Who cares, right?
Well, well, no, that actually was brought up in one of the LinkedIn conversations that I've had. It was more brought up along the lines of when they started introducing Brisk Boost because of the student information. So that was the part that was a little more concerning to people. I mean, here's the thing. As adults, we have the ability to say, sure, take it, have at it, do what you want. And at this point, the basic level of AI understanding is, as I was told from the very beginning, if you don't want something posted on the internet, then you should not put it into a chatbot. You should not put it into a chat conversation. You should not get that personal. So for example, right now, my paid version of ChatGPT, which has memory, it memorizes all this stuff about me. It knows I'm a sixth grade teacher. It knows I'm in Pennsylvania. It knows that, well, it adjusted itself because I did teach reading last year, but now I teach math. So it knows now that I teach math and focus on math. So when it responds to me, it gives me better answers because it already knows along the lines that I'm thinking. It knows that I'm very active on social media and that I like to do lots of social media things. So when I ask it social media questions, it already has all this stuff built into it. I'm okay with it knowing that because I put that stuff out there on TikTok. So have at it. Do what you want with it. You know, so that's what it is. But yeah, you bring up a good point though, Brenda. I was someone who very early on was like, I love technology. I'm jumping all in. Just sign up, sign up, sign up, sign up, sign up. Go, 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 go. Okay. I fell hard for all of these programs. I said in a podcast I was on recently, I would be very nervous to look at Google to see how much stuff I am subscribed to or how much things I have account. That would be a very disconcerting thing to look at. But again, I'm an adult. So if I didn't read the terms of service, that's on me. So for all of you out there who are a little more cautious than I, which is hopefully most of you, you can read those terms of service and see, because that is what's happening, okay? What this is going to do, it's going to essentially embed itself inside your Google Drive. So every time you open up something in Google, it knows that thing. So that thing is in its, training database for like ever. Okay. So for example, some things that I've done that will I get in trouble for somewhere down the road? I have no idea. But taking PDF versions of my curriculum books and putting them into a chatbot and having it build things based on that. Is that copyright? Is that right now there's no rules, right? So right now there's no rules. We are currently writing these rules. But again, I put that PDF in there. which could be public information, but is usually only public information for the schools and teachers that have access to that program. So if you search for stuff on Wonders, it should know because I uploaded it at some point. Wonders, sixth grade, it should know the stuff. But so that's like you use your best judgment. You are the best judge of you. I am someone who I joke all the time, take whatever you want. I don't have a lot, so you can have all the information that I have. So just take whatever you would like. Okay. My life is not that exciting. If Russia wants to hack me, have at it. I'm a pretty boring American, so have at it. But that's a great question. And I'm glad you brought that up because it's something I usually gloss over because it's something I myself personally glossed over. Other people might feel differently, and that is solely up to you. But again, that's what it's doing. It's embedding itself into. So for YouTube, for example, if you are on your YouTube account, I mean, it's seeing your YouTube account. So it's seeing the videos you watch, and it's seeing it like kind of knows what YouTube knows. And it does that so that it can create the best resource for you from what you're doing. So it's a good thing and a bad thing, depending on how you look at it. So back to this. So I have this YouTube video pulled up. I hit this button. But now from here, I open the create. And these are all the things that are available for free, which is absolutely absurd. This is a ton of things. Okay. These got bigger. There used to only be about, 10 of these things. Well, there's many more now. All these
Did I
ones
see
that have,
UDL on there?
yes, you did. Hold on. Let me go back.
Awesome, especially with the accessibility things coming out in the
Wait,
next
did you
couple
see
of
UDL?
years. Yes,
Oh, yes, there it is.
UDL
So
lesson
UDL is,
plan.
see
Awesome.
that little school icon is only available with the school accounts. Yeah, I know. Yep,
Oh.
that's one of the things, right? I know. This is how they get you. And, you want the good stuff, you got to sign up. So standards unpacker, star practice that. So Texas, it became very big because they're using AI to grade essentially their writing assessments in Texas. So star, like pretty much every AI program that's out there has incorporated star standards into them because teachers are looking for how's the AI going to grade my kids. So they're giving the kids papers to AI and looking what the AI is probably going to do when they do their state level test. So that's why STAR has become such a big thing. So this was the one I did the other day, was an inquiry worksheet. I was like, that sounds fun. That sounds interesting. So I'm going to show you what it does. I click on inquiry worksheet. And it literally, this is the prompt. If you've ever worked with AI, this is your chance to prompt it and ask it for exactly what you want. You can literally leave it go at this, and it'll just go and do its thing, which is what I'm going to do. But down here, I'll show you what this looks like. So I click on select standards. And as you can see, I have one that I can click on, but it's not going to let me do it because I have to upgrade my plan. So if you wanted to use standards, you would have to upgrade your plan to the pro. What all that'll do is it'll take whatever you're learning about and it'll align it to whatever standards you want it to align to. So if you want to hit a ELA standard through the writing of this video that you're going to watch, you can do that. If you want to hit a science standard, you can do that if you pay for it. Here's the grade level. It goes all the way from first grade to university. Let's pick sixth grade because that's where I'm at. And we Brisket. What a great name, right? Brisket. Makes you hungry every time you click on it. So, and here it is. It opens up in my Google Docs and it starts going. And it keeps going. It gives you an investigation to do, gives you observation sheets, weekly observations. Well, this is better than the one I got earlier.
Wow,
Cool.
that's pretty cool.
All right. You got a conclusion, a reflection, and results, and you got fun facts. You got all this stuff. There you go. Okay. So let's see. Did we time that? I'm pretty sure that was less than 30 seconds. So less than 30 seconds, you have this entire thing. Now you can go through this and read and say, oh, I don't like this. I don't like that. Down here, while you're still in, this is really key. If you click out of this, this little menu will disappear. This menu only pops up after you make a resource and it hangs around until you leave it. Okay. As soon as you leave it, this doesn't come back. And then it'll make you like create a whole new one or build within it. So If you like what you see, you can just leave it and be good. Now down here, you have all your options. Make it shorter, make it longer, more detail, less detail, or anything else you'd like to change. So for example, I don't want an observation activity. Something else. Oh, please. Always got to say please to the machines. Okay. So now it's going to build a new one. And it's going to keep the parts I liked and still include an Oh, so I said observation. I didn't say investigation. So it got rid of the observation chart, as you can see. So everything else was there. It got rid of the big chart that it made up here for the observations. So I said observation. All right. So now it builds off of the first one. So that first one's still there. So it doesn't delete it and start over. And from here, it'll just keep building and building and building within this document. So this is great because from here you could say, can you make a quiz based on this material? And it'll go down to the end and it'll quiz. And you can just build all these resources from within here and then go. And there you go. And then
I love how it keeps reminding us that food is essential for all living things.
well, that's what the whole video was about. So now it's going to go back and give you an answer key to everything and give you the answers to everything. And again, this is where I find you have to do the most work, is making sure that the answers they give are correct. As I said, AI is getting better. It's still not perfect. So, and for writing questions, it'll give you a sample answer of what a sixth grade level person might say. So that's pretty much it. If you want to be nice to Brisk, you can rate their response, say it was good or bad, and tell them what was good or bad about it. And every time you do that, it helps them. And you get a better product when you do that. So now I've closed out of it. See, I hit X, I closed out of it. When I open this back up, now I'm back to this. So now if I go to do something, it is going to, so let's say I want to make a lesson plan off of this. The information in this document. Oh, and you never have to worry about being a terrible speller ever again, because for somehow AI 100% knows all of that stuff. So here you go. There's your 50-minute science with ELA integration lesson plan. Now, it writes a lesson plan based off of all of the lesson plans that it's looked at in its huge data set of information. I believe that Brisk is running on ChatGPT's 3 maybe 4. I think they're running on 4. I'd have to double check on that for those of you that are nerdy about those things. But this is not their best. If you upgrade, you'll get a better, much more accurate, much faster AI. But as you can see from what I'm looking at here, this one does pretty darn good. So, and again, it created this lesson plan in there. So now I have the opportunity to build all this stuff. Oh, I want to make a worksheet. Make a worksheet for the lesson described above. So you can imagine that in this short period of time here, what minutes, you've done a lesson, you've built an inquiry worksheet based off of that video, you have built a worksheet based off of the lesson that's based off of that video. I mean, so you've built, like for me, this would be a couple days of lessons right here. So this would be a couple days of work, and it was done in less than 5 minutes, maybe. So that's the level we're at now, folks. So that's that's like where we're at.
That's fantastic.
So yeah. So let me see here. Let me see if I make sure I didn't like skip over anything big. All these things are in my way. I'm gonna slide this over here. Sorry. And that's their big, this is their big selling point, save you 10 plus hours a week. Okay. So for you at this point, I just kind of modeled for you how to use the create button. If you have a student writing, like you could pull up a student writing that's in your Google Drive or Google Doc and test out the give feedback. Let me see. So we can do something cool here. Show you this. We'll open a plain Google Doc. Oh, there's my worms one that I just did. Okay. So we're going to get a little bit of AI inception here. Okay. Let's do write an essay about the importance of eating healthy from the perspective of a sixth grade student. Make it an average sixth grader.
Please.
Okay. Oh, that's also a nice little sneaky one to sneak in there. This is very important for my job. And so down here, oh, I forgot it did this. Yeah. So I didn't even have to type that. I could put below expectations, meets expectations, or exceeds expectations for a sixth grade level student. So let's just put average meets. All right. And now it's going to generate me an essay about eating healthy. Now, you will all notice something probably right away, especially you writing teachers. Almost every single time that you ask AI to write an essay for you, it will almost always give you a 5-paragraph essay. Almost every time. Especially if you're asking for like an elementary or middle school or what like that level, it will give you a 5-paragraph essay almost every single time.
Well, yeah,
Okay,
an
so
intro, 3 body paragraphs, and a conclusion. Come on now.
again, I wonder what
Of
it's been
course.
trained on. I wonder what it's been trained on. Okay, so now I have this AI paper that is written here, and what I can do is give feedback. So, oh, there you go. So you can, for your rubric criteria, this is fun. So if you have a rubric that you are using for your project, I forgot about this feature. This was a pro feature for a long time, just a pro feature. You can upload your own rubric that you have. So you could go through and find your rubric. I don't have one saved because I don't teach writing anymore. But you could find a rubric and upload it and then literally specify what you want your focus to be on. That's my little back arrow. So I'm going to give feedback. I'll just show you the glow and grow. Okay. And again, what do you want to focus on? Make sure they give me at least 3 examples of eating healthy, healthy, why that's important. No one is allowed to judge my typing speed or accuracy. Okay, there we go.
I think we see why they switched you from ELA.
Hey now,
I'm just
hey
kidding.
now. My window says be curious, not judgmental. Okay. All right, so here is all of the glow. You did a fantastic job explaining why eating healthy is important. I loved how you connected your examples. Keep up the good work. Grow. Include more examples of healthy food and why they're important. You mentioned fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean protein, but try to give specific examples for each category. For instance, blah, blah, blah. Gives you an example, okay? And then again, you could copy all, okay? And then go to a comment, and there you go. Your feedback is all in there. Done. Okay, so that's the glow and grow. That's how that works. If you hit insert, what it'll do is it'll insert your feedback in the document at the bottom. So if you wanted to do that, you could as well. So on and so forth. So if I wanted to give next steps, I could leave that in there. Now it's going to give next steps. content, organization, clarity, and detail. And there you go. Again, so if I click insert, it's going to take all that and it's going to insert it where I had my cursor, which was at the top of the page. So you can put that at the bottom of the page. It's another thing you need to pay attention to. Wherever your cursor is, that's where it's going to like plug in stuff. So if you want to put it at the end of their paper, just make sure you're at the end of their paper. And so there you go. So that's how you use it to get feedback. I'm really curious what would happen if I clicked inspect. Oh yeah. So if I clicked inspect writing, it's going to show me, so we could go at like 5 times speed. And it's going to show this paper being written. So if a kid was smart enough to figure out how to use Brisk, it would look like they typed this whole paper very, very quickly. Now, you know your kids better than most. You know if your kids can type that well. I can't even type that well. So if they're typing and there's no errors in there, I would be a little suspicious of that. But that's what that looks like. There was one paste, and that was from our inserting our comments in there. So it flagged that and it highlighted what was pasted. So that's what the inspect tool looks like. So change level. All right, so I can click on change level and I could say make this a 2nd grade level. And now it doesn't like being in there, so now it's going to open a new one. And it pastes the original doc right there. I'm going to put in all my table that was there, all the stuff that was in there.
It even
And then
put
it's gonna rewrite it.
it even put untitled document as the title under
Yes.
original or above original. That's pretty cool.
Yes. So the actual article itself that was rewritten for a 2nd grade level is right there. Especially for kids like us in 2nd grade. That's not creepy at all. Okay. As you can see, the tone, the level of the vocabulary has changed. All right. But you still have opportunities there to teach your kids some words like, hey, this is what potassium is. This is, things like that. What's it mean to eat a. So there you go. Where'd we go? But yeah, so this is all, and as you can see, all of these I'm clicking on, like Brisk is still just hanging out there. And let me show you one more that is a lot of teachers' favorite tool. This isn't going to be very good. Actually, we'll do it. This is a lot of teachers, those of you out there who like slide presentations. You can create a slide presentation the same way I just created a Google Doc. It will create a slide presentation for you. So let's take a look at that. Let's make this for 4th grade. Sounds good. You can go up to 20 slides. It's up to you. And I'll just do like 7 slides. I'll show you what it looks like without images. Well, with images, you need once you have the high find internet images and insert them in there. We go to next. And now this is their big thing they just put. They have themes that you can choose before it starts writing. Before it just made it, plain. You had to go through and change the theme. Now they save it a little bit for you. So let's, there we go, snowy for the snow that we may or may not get tomorrow, which is insane to think about, by the way. Oh, I got to sign in. Yeah, you can have all my stuff. That's what Brenda said. You can have all my stuff, take it. My school district will figure it out. And here we go. Presentation, 4th grade. And kaboom. Oh, it's doing it twice. It's doing it twice. That's okay. There you go. Is building bullet point presentation for you. I'm not touching anything. It is doing all of this itself. This is the magic that is AI. There you go. Now you have a presentation. You can go back through this presentation and edit it any way you see fit. You can add more slides. whatever, we can just do that. And we'll add some more slides to it and it'll just keep going. Probably after a while though.
Have you used the vocabulary list that I saw pop up down
Yeah.
there?
Yeah. Yep. As soon as it's done, I will vocab list. All right. Create a vocab list, definitions based on the presentation above. And now it's going to open up a Google Doc and give you your vocab list. I'm very curious to see what it comes out with there. Eat.
Nice. That's a time saver.
Yep.
Right there. Yeah.
So
Yep.
if you hit create a quiz up there in the corner, does that create
Oh,
it
that's what
from-
quiz is. That's quiz is.
Okay. I was
As,
thought it
like,
looked different.
my Google accounts are overloaded with AI programs. So there's quizzes up there. There's Magic
Stuff.
School, Brisk down there, Grammarly's down there. I mean, it's kind of a mess, but it works for me.
So Matt, we have a little over 5 minutes left and a little
Yep.
over 5 minutes. Is there anything specific like that they have to know? What is the most important thing that you would love them to know as we finish up this little presentation?
Yeah, I mean, with regards to Brisk, most important thing to know about Brisk is that to me, it's the simpler, easier of the tools because you don't have to keep going back and forth, copy and pasting. It's literally creating within the document or creating its own new document, and then you can work with that as it goes. Brisk is great because it's in your ecosystem of tools that you already use. It's very simple to use, and you don't have to do a lot of crazy prompting, which is the wonder of these teacher-facing AI tools, is you do not have to be a ChatGPT prompting expert in order to use these things. So they're very simple to use, click and go. That's the other thing they hide down here at the end. There's not really an option that fits anything that you're looking for in particular. They made a button called something else. And literally you can type in exactly what you want it to look like, what format you want it. And that is what the something else button does. So even from this presentation, I can open this up and there is the something else button and you can go anywhere you want, you can go with this. So if there's not a tool that you see and you're looking to create something in particular and it's not on this list, you can go anywhere. One final thing that I didn't get to cover a lot, but the quiz is cool because the quiz, you have the option of opening up in a Google Doc and then printing out or using it as a Google Doc, but it will also give you the option to make a Google form. It'll automatically upload right into a Google form that is attached to your Google account, which, as we all know, Google Forms are really great for quick formative feedback. So if there's something you just gave the kids to read or there was a video they just watched in class, you could create a really quick formative feedback exit ticket type quiz through Google Forms, okay? And that'll open up into Google Forms and start building the same way it does in Google Docs.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm just going to click it just for fun. And again,
You mean for an exit ticket for everyone here?
Yeah, right. There you go. Considering
You
I
didn't know you'd be
covered,
quizzed.
yeah, covered like only part of the slides. But yeah, so just like everything else, it's going to go and start building. And there you go. Here you go, guys. You could just share this with everybody and see how well everybody paid attention. There you go. Okay. That's it. There you go.
That's
And
really
so that's
cool.
pretty, yeah. So in terms, I'm just trying to make sure there's nothing else I forgot here. This is everything we've covered everything. There you go. Brisk is
dropped
safe
that
and
quite yet.
secure. Brisk is safe and secure there, Brenda. There you go.
I'm not convinced.
It's okay. There's the plans. Okay. So, again, I've spoken to Tracy and Brenda quite a bit. I'm not sure where a lot of districts are on this, but the best way to go is to get your district to pilot one of these, to get it rolling, and let your teachers play with it to see if they like it. That's where, I believe it's Huntington, if I'm not mistaken. They they signed up for a district of Magic School. They
Mhm.
signed up for a Magic School plan. And
Yes.
they're slowly, a couple of the teachers I talk to that I know that work there, they're like, I don't really know what I'm doing with Magic School yet, but we have it. So the tools are great, but the tools mean nothing if you don't know what to do with them. So hopefully today you got a lot of insight with Brisk into the things you could do. As always, that I tell everybody, and the title of these trainings is play. You have to. You have
Mhm.
to play with these tools in order to see how they work. Um, that is the only way to learn. I spent my entire summer last summer, much to my wife's chagrin. She did not want to hear anything more about AI. But I literally spent all summer, and all I did all day was play with these tools. One day I tried out Magic School and I hit all the buttons. I literally hit all the buttons. At that time, it was only like 10 buttons. So that was easy. Um, Brisk. I tried Brisk. I tried Class Companion. I tried Quizzes. I tried Quizlet. I tried, what else do I have up here? My short answer, School AI, Eduade, Diffit, Snorkel is a great one. I mean, I literally just whatever I signed up for it. Okay. And you have to play. Create a resource. What I like to challenge teachers to do when they come to these trainings, create something that you can use tomorrow. So, like, if you just taught a lesson,
Mhm.
like, open up that lesson that you just taught and be like, give me an exit ticket on this, or give me a reflection. Like, I want to make a morning work based off of what I just taught here. Um, so,
I will say too, and this you would think that that would be what people would want to do.
yeah,
Brenda and I have run into where, we show somebody something and then they play with it, but they don't use it. They don't create something that they can use. So I think it's very important what you just said. Make a resource, even if it's something small that you can use. Don't spend time making up, a quiz on Brisk.
yeah.
You make a quiz, make a exit ticket, make something that you can use tomorrow, even if it's just something little, as Matt said, because that's what's really important. Brenda and I have done so many Google trainings, and people create entire slide decks that they can't do anything with, and I'm like, we're not trying to waste your time. We want to give you time back. So use it to create something that you can use.
And so I was just showing everybody the math because one of the big taboos of AI has been for a long time that AI is terrible at math. Um, we're past that. AI has gotten really, really good at math. The newest ChatGPT, the O1 preview, they put it in a math competition and it was 90th percentile. So it did really, really well at math, reasoning, and logic. And that's where we're headed. We're headed towards an AI that can reason through things and can use logic to figure out a problem and then work its way around it. So we're getting to that point where we might want to start worrying about Terminator in the next like 5 years or so. But right now we're not there. But anyway, this one is my most used tool because again, I type in what I taught. And so I want to do a quick review of how much did they remember from what we learned. Okay. And so it mixed up word problems, it asked simple computation problems, and it did that. Okay. And it even at the top, I love this, it gives the review of how to do those things with the algorithms that we learned. So there you go. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now and questions, concerns, anything, whatever. Okay, I'm done talking. So
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna stop recording.